Hi Year 10. If you open up your notes at page 41 for me please and get a pen in your hand. Okay, so last little bit of probability here today, and it is using tree diagrams. So there's a couple of little tricks that we can use with tree diagrams and we're going to go through those today. However, I don't like this example that's in our notes, sorry, this is really shadowy. So we're not going to do this example, we're going to add in a different one. Okay, so score that one out and get ready to write this other one in. Right, so pause the video, copy that in, and then I'll explain what a tree diagram even is, so get that written in now. Okay, so we've copied this question down, and the very first thing it asks us to do is to draw a tree diagram to show the different possibilities. And tree diagrams are really good at doing that. That's the whole point of them, to show all the different possible outcomes that you can have for different situations. And then if the question's complicated, it makes it easier to apply those and or situations that we have just been looking at over the past couple of lessons. So it makes it easier to figure out all the different ways that things can happen. Okay, so let's have a wee look at this. Two archers fire arrows at a target. The probability that Becker hits the target is 0.5 and the probability that Crossley does not hit the target is 0.3. Becker fires at the target first and then Crossley fires. So draw a tree diagram to show the possibilities and then use it to find all these different probabilities. So let's not worry about that first. Let's draw our tree diagram. So I'm trying to not be as shadowy. It's not going to happen. So it told us in the question that Becker went first. So either, let me see, I'm going to do Becker up here. So this is Becker. Either he hits or he misses. Right? Now, the probability that Becker hit the target was 0.5. It told us that in the question. So we just write the probability of these things happening along it. So 0.5 for he hits. And if it's if there's a probability of 0.5 that he hits the target, there's going to be a probability of 0.5 that he misses. Because there's two possible outcomes there. If he's firing an arrow at a target, he can either hit or he can miss. So both of these have to add up to 1. So that's one of the little rules that we will end up using sometimes to fill in missing probabilities. Every little set of branches, these would be called, have to add up to 1. So Becker went first. Then after that, Crossley was firing. So if Becker hits the target, then Crossley is either going to hit or miss. So we do Crossley's like this. So Crossley is either going to hit or he's going to miss. And if Becker misses, Crossley's either going to hit or he misses. Okay, so this would be the tree diagram. Now let's get our probabilities for Crossley drawn in. Let me see, the way it worded it in the question was the probability that Crossley does not hit the target is 0.3. So the probability that he misses is 0.3, which means that the probability that he hits is 0.7. And we've filled these in down here as well. Okay, now sometimes the questions will be sneaky and it could be like, if Becker hits, the probability that Crossley hits is such and such, but if Becker misses, the probability that Crossley hits would be such and such. So just look out for little things like that in the question. My advice would be to draw your tree diagram at the start before you start worrying about all these different parts of the question that it's asking you for, and fill in any probabilities that you can. So remember a couple of little rules that you can use. These little sets of branches here always add up to 1 because the total probability is 1. So let's look at part A. So we're going to use our tree diagram to find the probability that both Becker and Crossley hit the target. So I'm going to end up running out of room here, I can tell. Let's see, part A, both Becker and Crossley hitting means this is happening and this is happening. Now if you remember back, if it's an and situation, that means we multiply. So the probability of Becker and Crossley hitting. is going to be 0.5 multiplied by 0.7, which gives us 0.35. Okay. For part B, we've defined the probability that neither hits, so that means both miss. So it's going to be that Becker misses this one and that Crossley misses this one. Oh, you can barely see that. A wee bit better. Okay, so for B, both miss, probability both miss. We'll just label it like that. So that was 0.5 for Becker missing, and because it's an and, we multiply, and 0.3 for Crossley missing. So that's 0.15. Oh, jeepers. Okay. Let me see. Part C. Becker hits, but Crossley misses. So probability Becker hits and Crossley misses. So let's trace that out. I'll go orange. So Becker hits, Crossley misses. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing with the colours. It just makes it easier to follow what you're at. So the probability that Becker hits is 0.5 and the probability that Crossley misses was 0.3. So we multiply those together because it's an and situation and we get 0.15. Okay. For part D, the probability that Crossley hits but Becker misses. So they've been sneaky here. They've given us these in like the opposite way round. So Becker misses and Crossley hits. So Becker misses, Crossley hits. Let's go grey. Forgotten it already. Becker misses, Crossley hits. Okay. So Becker misses, Crossley hits. So Becker misses 0.5, Crossley hits 0.7. So 0.35. Oh, cheers. Okay. Now, see if we go back up to the very top of this page, there was a wee rule that I didn't go over with you there. Let me see. When using tree diagrams, we always multiply across the branches and add down. So we have just there been multiplying across, because if you're working your way across branches like that, or like that, or like that, then that's always going to be an and situation. If it's an or situation, you'll be up or down. Okay. So the questions that you're going to be doing today are like these ones here, and you're not going to have any of the or situations. I will give you another example that we'll have to slot into our notes before we do those questions. Okay, so only a few questions to do today, and then if you take a picture and send them to me so that I can see how we're getting on, then on Wednesday we will move on and we'll do some of the harder ones with the or situation. Okay, so nice wee quick one today. See ya.